You are not supposed to be here. This is not your nest. These are not your parents. And technically, this is not even your family. You are a cuckoo chick, and your life begins as a very small crime scene. Before you hatch, your real mother has already visited another bird's nest while the owners were away. She moved fast because getting caught would ruin the whole operation. In just a few seconds, she laid one egg among the host bird's own eggs, then vanished into the landscape like a feathered burglar with excellent time management. The birds who return are not cuckoos. They might be reed warblers, meadow pipits, dunnocks, or another small species, depending on the place and the cuckoo population. But your egg looks close enough to belong. Not perfect. Nature rarely does perfect. But close enough that the exhausted little parents accept it. This is called brood parasitism, which means one animal tricks another animal into raising its young. It is parenting by outsourcing, but with more deception and fewer emails. Inside the egg, you're already ahead. Many cuckoo eggs hatch slightly earlier than the host's eggs. That matters because in this nest, the first chick to act may be the only chick that matters. You hatch blind, naked, and helpless looking, which is misleading because your first major life skill is not eating. It is eviction. Your eyes are closed. Your neck is wobbly. You look like a pink raisin with ambition. But there is a special hollow on your back, and when your body touches an egg or another chick, something ancient switches on. You shove. You wriggle underneath the object. You brace your tiny legs. You push backward toward the rim of the nest. This is not graceful. This is not dignified. This is a newborn doing heavy furniture removal without a spine. The egg rolls up your back. You heave again. It tips over the edge. One problem removed. Then you do it again. This behavior is instinctive. No cuckoo parent teaches it. Your real mother is gone. Your foster parents do not understand what is happening. You are operating on built-in instructions like a tiny biological machine whose manual has only one page: clear the nest. Researchers studying common cuckoos have filmed this behavior in host nests and shown how costly it is. During the eviction period, the chick spends energy it desperately needs for growth. In one experimental study on common cuckoo chicks in redstart nests, removing the burden of egg tossing improved the chick's growth during that short period. In other words, eviction is exhausting. Unfortunately, your business model requires it. Once the nest is empty, your situation improves dramatically. You are now the only baby in the household. The host parents return with food, see one enormous begging mouth, and respond the way bird parents respond to begging mouths: they feed it. And you beg with commitment. Your mouth opens wide. Your calls are loud, urgent, and extremely persuasive. Some cuckoo chicks can produce begging calls that stimulate host parents almost like a whole brood of chicks demanding food. This is useful because you are trying to convince two tiny birds to raise a baby that will soon be much larger than they are. The nest becomes a very small restaurant with one terrible customer. Insects arrive. Caterpillars arrive. Spiders arrive. The foster parents make trip after trip, driven by instinct and the open mouth in front of them. They do not know they are raising the wrong species. They only know the baby is hungry. You are always hungry. At first, you fit inside the nest. Then you fill the nest. Then you overflow from the nest like bread dough with opinions. Your foster parent may have to stand on your back to feed you because you are now bigger than the adult bird doing the feeding. Others replace bare skin. Your body stretches. Your wings begin to look like wings instead of disappointing elbows. The foster parents keep working, even though the math is becoming difficult to ignore. A reed warbler feeding a cuckoo chick is like a person delivering groceries to a teenager who has taken over their apartment and also might be a different species. But this story is not just about trickery. It is also about an evolutionary arms race. Host birds are not foolish. Many species have defenses. Some recognize strange eggs. Some reject eggs that look wrong. Some abandon a suspicious nest and start over. Across generations, better host defenses can favor cuckoo eggs that more closely mimic host eggs. And better mimicry favors sharper host detection. Back and forth it goes, a quiet war fought in speckles, shell colors, timing, and nest behavior. Your foster parents keep feeding you after you leave the nest. You perch nearby, awkward and demanding, calling from branches while tiny adults hurry back and forth with food. You are now a giant child yelling from the yard. Eventually, your body catches up with your future. You grow strong enough to fly. The foster parents become less central to your survival. You begin feeding yourself. Then comes the strangest part. You must become a cuckoo without ever being raised by cuckoos. No real parent showed you where to go. Yet common cuckoos migrate between breeding areas in Europe and Asia and wintering areas in Africa. Young birds somehow make this journey using inherited instincts and environmental cues scientists are still working to fully understand. Your childhood was a lie. Your adulthood is a map you were born already carrying. One day, if you survive the journey, you may return to breeding grounds as an adult. If you are female, your future depends on finding the right host nests, timing your visits, and laying eggs that give your own chicks the best chance of being accepted. And then the whole uncomfortable story begins again. Another small bird leaves its nest for a moment. Another cuckoo egg appears where it should not be. Another blind chick hatches with a hollow in its back and a job no newborn should be qualified to perform. Inside the nest, you are not a symbol. You are not a song. You are a tiny, blind specialist in taking over someone else's future. And somehow, with no parents, no lessons, and no idea where you came from, you push your way into the world anyway.